We're all suckers for a good archaeological mystery, right? But the problem is that there are too many fake things spreading around that it's hard to know what's actually legit. But imagine an object that looks totally strange from its time, like a watch from the 1800s. We aren't talking about myths. These are real physical objects that have left historians scratching their heads. And in today's video, we will look at 15 mechanical wonders that prove our ancestors were far more high-tech than the history books ever gave them credit for. So, let's start from number 15, Tesla's voice-controlled remote boat. You've got to hear about the time Nikola Tesla basically trolled a whole crowd of people in 1898. He showed up at Madison Square Garden with this boat that moved through the water with 0 strings attached. It was the world's first remote-controlled device, using wireless tech that was light years ahead of its time. The onlookers were so freaked out, some literally ran away in terror, that Tesla decided to mess with them. He pretended he was commanding the boat with his voice just to play into their magic fears, while he actually had the remote hidden in his pocket. We talk about Amazon drones today like they're new, but Tesla was playing with the foundations of that tech over a century ago. It's wild that a guy with a radio box in the 1800s could cause a literal stampede just by showing off a mechanical toy that shouldn't have existed yet. Number 14. 15-minute nose job of 1814. We always joke about how obsessed people are with plastic surgery now, but the first modern nose job actually went down in 1814. This surgeon in Great Britain, Joseph Carpew, had to fix an army officer whose nose had literally collapsed because of some nasty mercury treatments. Here's the kicker. Carpew did the whole pioneering reconstruction in just 15 minutes. And yes, there was no anesthesia. Can you even imagine? He'd heard rumors of people in India doing similar stuff 20 years earlier and decided to prove it could be done in the West. He was so successful that he inspired the guy who eventually coined the term plastic surgery. It's a bit of a gossip moment in history because we often associate this with a Hollywood trend, but it was actually born out of 19th century military necessity and some seriously fast, brutal handiwork. Number 13. Lion's Staircase of Sigiriya. I stumbled across this lion mountain in Sri Lanka, and honestly, it sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel. This 5th century king was hiding from his brother and decided to build this fortress, Sigiriya, that defies every law of logic. The centerpiece is this lion's staircase, where you literally walk into the open stone jaws of a massive lion to get to the top. But it's not just the scale, it's the limestone work mixed with brick and timber that's still holding up. They even have these realism frescoes from 1,600 years ago that look better than stuff from the Renaissance. Most people are too scared to climb the whole thing because it's so steep, but the engineering required to haul those materials up a sheer rock face back then is just mental. It's no wonder people call it the 8th wonder of the world. It's a total mechanical and architectural flex. Number 12. An 8,000-year-old Doggerland shipyard. So I was looking into this, and apparently, everything we knew about boats is basically a lie. We used to think humans didn't start building proper ships until maybe 3,000 years ago, right? Well, scientists just found the remains of a full-blown shipyard off the Isle of Wight that's 8,000 years old. This was back when a piece of land called Doggerland still connected Britain to Europe before the Ice Age melt swallowed it up. Using some insane digital tech, they've recreated what it looked like, and it's basically proving our ancestors were master mariners while everyone else was barely figuring out the wheel. It totally flips maritime history on its head because it means people were engineering complex vessels 5 millennia earlier than the history books claim. Can you imagine the level of coordination needed for a shipyard that long ago? It's honestly kind of spooky how much we've forgotten. Number 11. James Gillingham's secret prosthetics. Okay, so get this. Back in the 1860s, if you lost a limb in a battle, doctors basically told you, tough luck. But then comes this humble shoemaker from England named James Gillingham. In 1866, he met a soldier who'd had his arm blown off by a cannon and decided to just fix it. He started building these incredibly strong, custom-fitted leather limbs that actually worked. By 1910, the guy had made over 15,000 of them. The craziest part is that the medical experts of the time were begging him to reveal how he made them so perfectly. But he was a total gatekeeper. He took his secret methods to the grave, leaving behind only these hauntingly detailed photographs of his patients using his impossible limbs. It's like he was doing high-level medical engineering in a shoe shop while the rest of the world was still using wooden pegs. Number 10. Oar-powered submarines of the 1620s. Imagine you're standing by the Thames in London during the 1620s and suddenly a giant wooden tube just sinks. That was Cornelis Drebbel showing off. While everyone else was drawing underwater boats on napkins, this Dutch engineer actually built 3 working submarines under the wing of King James I. The biggest one could hold 16 people. It didn't have an engine, obviously, so they used oars poking through waterproof leather seals to move. He even figured out a snorkel system with tubes to keep the crew breathing while they were 15 feet under. And they went from Greenwich to Westminster underwater, which should have been a military game changer. But get this, the British Navy just shrugged and showed zero interest. Drebbel literally handed them the future of naval warfare on a silver platter, and they basically told him, thanks, but no thanks. It's the ultimate historical what if. Honestly, it just keeps getting weirder from here. Look at this number 9, Albert Bill's mind-bending universal clock. You want to talk about someone being a total overachiever? In 1873, this guy, Albert Billy, built a clock in Paris that makes a Swiss watch look like a toddler's toy. It's 7 feet tall and literally tracks everything: Jewish, Julian, and Gregorian calendars, plus the moon, sun, and stars. It even has 37 different dials just to show every time zone on the planet. Yes, but here's the drama. When it broke in 1911, Biel was already dead, and literally nobody on Earth could figure out how to fix it. It just sat there, silent and impossible, for over 30 years, until a mathematician finally cracked the code of its 100 moving parts in 1943. One single spring snaps, and the whole universe stops ticking. It was built for a duke's relative who just wanted to flex his wealth, but Bill ended up building a mechanical brain that outlived his own genius. Number 8. Pacific's ghost machinery grooves. Imagine sending a camera thousands of miles away from land to the very bottom of the Pacific Ocean and finding tire tracks. That's exactly what happened in 1989. These massive, symmetrical troughs are carved into the deep sea silt, looking for all the world like they were made by heavy machinery. Here's the kicker. No mining expedition has ever been that far out, and no known sea creature could leave marks so perfectly smooth and parallel. Even more recent surveys show the grooves are still there, unchanged by the currents. Some experts are totally stumped, because if they aren't natural and they aren't from us, who was dragging heavy objects across the ocean floor thousands of years ago? They are way too mechanical to be a fluke of nature. It's a chilling reminder that there might be a whole history of underwater construction we know absolutely nothing about yet. Number 7. Agricultural thermostat of Moray. Can you imagine a 15-degree temperature shift just by walking down a few stone steps? That's the reality at the Moray site in Peru, where the Inca basically built a giant terraced laboratory into the mountains of Cusco. At first glance, it looks like a beautiful, concentric decoration carved into the earth. But these circles are actually precision-engineered climate zones. The deeper you go into the rings, the warmer it gets, allowing these ancient geniuses to grow summer crops at the bottom and winter crops at the top, all in the same location. It's a level of agricultural sophistication that honestly shouldn't have existed back then. They weren't just farming. They were hacking the environment to ensure they had food year-round. It's essentially a massive, stone-carved, smart greenhouse that uses nothing but depth and shadow to control the weather for its plants. It's a total masterclass in ancient botanical science. I know. Take a second to process that. Ready for the next one? Because it's a lot. Number 6. Peru's miniature map. If you were planning a massive irrigation project today, you'd probably use 3D modeling software, right? Well, 7 centuries ago, the Inca were already doing that, but they used a giant rock. The Sahuite monolith is this incredible topographic model that features projected watercourses and irrigation paths carved directly into its surface. It was likely a religious focal point for water ceremonies, but its practical use is what's truly mind-blowing. It functions exactly like a modern scale model used by engineers to test how water flows through a canal system before they actually start digging. By carving out this stone blueprint, they could visualize how to feed their crops across the rugged terrain. It's a physical piece of software from the 14th century that shows they mastered the art of hydraulic planning way before the rest of the world caught up to their genius. Number 5. Machu Picchu's invisible plumbing. Everyone talks about the views at Machu Picchu, but the real flex is hidden under the floorboards. These 15th century builders managed to design a hydraulic masterpiece that still works without a single modern pump. They found a natural spring on the mountain and literally built the entire city around a complex collection system. The water travels through an artificial canal and then splits into 16 different fountains, with the biggest one sitting right inside the emperor's private house. It's even got specialized storm valves to prevent flooding when the heavy rains hit. This wasn't just a bunch of stone huts, and it was a fully plumbed urban center with drainage and irrigation that rivals what we have today. The Spanish conquistadors never found the place, which is probably why this 600-year-old smart city survived with its water still flowing perfectly through its ancient stone veins. Number 4. Barbarian-proof city of Kaymakli. Deep under the dirt in Turkey, there's a place called Kaymakli that feels like a literal hive. About 4,000 years ago, people got so tired of barbarians pillaging their homes that they just moved the whole city underground. We're talking 8 stories deep into the rock. Only 4 levels are open now, but it's not just some dark caves. These people were organized. They carved out specialized rooms for winemaking, huge storage areas, and even a theater. How they managed to engineer all that ventilation and layout in near-total darkness is a mystery that still makes architects sweat. It's the ultimate survivalist flex from the ancient world. They turned solid mud and stone into a sophisticated bunker that kept thousands of people safe while the world above was burning. It's wild to think there's a whole luxury basement city just waiting to be fully explored. Number 3. 2,700-year-old bling. Smile. You'd think having a perfect set of pearly whites is a modern obsession, but the Etruscans were way ahead of us on the dental game in ancient Italy. These people were rocking prosthetic teeth 2,700 years ago, and honestly, the hustle was real back then. They'd use bone, ivory, or even real human teeth to fill the gaps, though it sounds like a total nightmare to wear. I get this. Poor people would actually yank out their own healthy teeth just to sell them to denture makers for quick cash. Eventually, because human teeth rot, they leveled up to using gold, silver, and mother-of-pearl by the medieval era. It's wild that the same basic principles those pre-Roman innovators used are still the foundation of the dentures people wear today. They basically invented the cosmetic smile long before the first toothbrush even existed, turning dentistry into a high-stakes craft of gold and bone. Number 2. Berber mountain banks. Imagine a bank that doesn't store paper money but keeps your grain and jewelry safe behind massive stone walls. That's the vibe in the mountains of southern Morocco with the Berber granaries. And these ancient Amazigh communities built these fortified structures hundreds of years ago. Exactly how old they are is a mystery lost to time, to protect their harvest and valuables from thieves. They even had a legal system for it. Laws were etched onto wooden tablets, like the Agadir Ujarif tablet from 1492, to dictate who could enter. Over time, these places evolved into literal safety deposit boxes where people kept certificates of ownership for land, gold, and silver. It's one of the oldest banking systems on the planet, functioning on trust and wood-carved regulations. They're starting to crumble now, but a new government project is finally stepping in to save these high-security ancient vaults. Number 1. Roman asparagus and Cambridge smart fields. It turns out the Romans weren't just about conquering empires. They were obsessed with their veggies, specifically asparagus. In 2014, archaeologists in Cambridge stumbled upon an irrigation system from about 1,950 years ago that proves how high-tech their gardening actually was. This place has layers of history going back 4,200 years to the Neolithic era, but the Romans really polished it up with parallel planting beds sloped perfectly toward a natural water source. When the English weather got too dry, they'd haul water from specialized pit wells and dump it into these ditches to keep the crops thriving. It's essentially the birth of British horticulture. The site is such a hotspot for activity that even World War II soldiers used it for practice trenches centuries later. It's just funny to think that a Roman soldier was meticulously engineering a watering system for his greens on the same soil where modern history was still unfolding. So with that, we have reached the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Now do me a huge favor by pressing the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching. Take care. So next time someone says our ancestors were primitive, show them the Roman asparagus beds or the Pacific's ghost machinery grooves. I'm out. See you in the next one.